SAGO Wintergreen, take 3. Hello, and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the number 1 review of series number 13, SAGO, capital S-A-G-O, SAGO. And today, as you just saw, we will be taking a look at SAGO Wintergreen Long Cut. SAGO is a Indian reservation brand that is sold in Canada. I don't know if it's sold across Canada or just on reservations. Somewhat in the same idea as Seneca. That said, now that I've dipped this twice already, Seneca is a much higher quality product. I never thought I'd say that, but it is. It's in a different tier. SAGO is in a much lower, darker place. So, let's take a look at the packaging. So you have a really crappy black plastic lid. It tacos like a Pinkerton lid. In fact, it may even be weaker than a Pinkerton lid, if you ever thought that was possible. That is a sticker on the lid, which is pretty horrific without the Canadian outer circle listing all the supposed contaminants. Those contaminants up top are in English, and of course down bottom in French. This is a product of the Grand River Enterprises Six Nation Ltd. Let me make sure I got that right. Made in the USA for Grand River Enterprises Six Nations Ltd. Oswegan, Ontario. So in the middle there up top it says smokeless tobacco twice because it has to do it in English and then again in French. Then you have the Indian head and SAGO underneath. Wintergreen and the French version of Wintergreen right next to it, and then long cut. It's got a green backing and sort of a check stripe. The SAGO and the silverish looking parts of the Indian are reflective, as you may be able to see. All in all, a pretty... yeah, it's bad. But oh, that's not the worst part of this product. Going around to the side banding, you have the brand, flavor, and cut. Then you have the French warning. And then you have the fact that the manufacturer of this in the United States is U.S. tax exempt. That's what it is saying underneath this barcode. And then you have an English warning. And then you have a mirror. I'm guessing that is where normally the Canadian tobacco tax stamp would go. I'm guessing this product is also tax exempt in Canada. As it is, they've replaced it just with a really reflective silver sticker, which I actually can see my reflection in a little bit. So when I dip this, I can turn this can around and stare upon my horrified face and be like, look where life has led you. Anyway, on the back, there is absolutely nothing, and now that I've dipped this product twice, it doesn't really matter if there was a date code, although I have not been able to find one anywhere on this can, but it's definitely not on the back. The can is... It's cheap, but it is pliable enough that it won't crack, and it does have some integrity on the sidewall, so... it may actually, not the lid, but the can itself may actually have, let's say, CN Smokeless Tobacco Company products beat. And you know what? The lid doesn't, though. The lid's just as bad as theirs. So I'm going to pop this open here. Okay. It's a wintergreen, but it's so unbelievably chemical-like. Your mind sort of freaking freezes for a moment, and you got to remind yourself that it's wintergreen. And once you do that, there's wintergreen in there, but you got to remind yourself what you're smelling is actually wintergreen. It is a... This is something, seriously, now that I have already tasted it and the smell of it and the look of it in the can. Actually, the look of it in the can is probably the least of this product's problems. This is something, really, at the end of the day, you shouldn't put in your mouth. That's really, if you want to turn this review off, you probably can. That's really all you need to know. This, don't put this in your mouth. Okay? So, in the can, you got the Canadian chunky cut, which is basically a mix mash of different cuts with some like cube-like stuff going on in there, and there may be a stem or two. It's a terrible cut, and it doesn't pinch well. But really, if that was the only problem with this, I'd be okay with that at this point. Because the smell is just, it's unbelievable. Like, it's unbelievable that they can market this way. But the taste isn't far behind the smell. This is a product also that has a fairly, what in a normal product would be a good moisture level, but this is one of those products where I wish it was a little bit drier, to tell you the truth. So I'm going to take a pinch of this, and then I'm going to have to hit the pause button, because it's going to be on my desk, and so I'm not backing that with a finger. Anything larger than that would fall apart where it wasn't actually being pinched in between my finger and thumb. I'm not putting any more of this in my mouth now. Three times in now, I'm actually starting to feel a little nauseous. I'll be back in a moment. Okay. So, first of all, Dirty Pat Walsh is responsible for this review. I just want everybody to know that now. Just kidding. No, but Dirty Pat Walsh did send this down to me. The crazy part is he was saying that this is either, I forget if it's 12 or 8 Canadian dollars. Let's say it's 8. That means it's still like, this can's like $5 US. Somewhere around there. Which is absolutely insane. This should be well under $1 at best. Personally, if any $5 bill was to exchange hands, I would pay $5 not to have to put this in my mouth again. But in the last 10 seconds of the last 2 takes, my camera's gone down and an error's come up. I get to the last 10 seconds, like 12 to 14 minutes in, and the thing craps out of me. Anyway, packaging's garbage. Alright? Smell off the tin is scary. It's scary. Alright? Product in the can is one of those deals where it's moist enough, but you're almost wishing it wasn't that moist. You almost wish it was dry. The cut is so ridiculously inconsistent that it's just, they munched up a bunch of crap and put it in a can, basically. There's no, you can't try to figure it out. It's just, everything is in the can. Just get it all and put it in this can. The flavor is atrocious. This is the third dip I've taken out of this can now, and I'm feeling sort of nauseous. I don't even want to smell this again because I'm afraid it's going to set off like some sort of gag reflex, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm being serious. This is on par, flavor and taste wise, with a worst with a worse cut and worse lid. This is basically on par with Cooper from Swisher. Only the cut's even worse and the packaging is worse. Cooper, well, you can go look at the review. Cooper was bad, and I didn't even realize the full extent of how bad it was until after I was done that review. So this is just it's chemical tasting, definitely smelling waxy something in a can with a thin veil of wintergreen. It's so bad though, you got to keep reminding yourself that it's wintergreen. The only standout thing about this product is how ridiculously bad it is, and the fact that Canadians are buying it at $5 a can. It's so bad. I can't stress that enough. If you see this, if you're traveling in Canada, do not buy it. Just don't. All right? I mean, you could have the biggest can collection in the world. This can is not worth the price. And definitely don't freaking open it. So, I knew this was going to be bad. I was pre-warned. But it has exceeded expectations. This is literally Cooper North. This is a can of Cooper that got messed up. We're making some Cooper. We screwed up. Yeah. This is like, I'm not going to say it. You know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm just not going to say it. I don't know. I almost feel bad for the Indians of the Six Nations. I don't know what the hell, I don't know if I feel bad for them or if I'm agitated, like this is some sort of sick joke. Like they're still pissed off about those blankets or something. I don't know. But you just don't put this in your mouth. That's all you need to remember. This has been the review of SAGO, supposedly wintergreen. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. I'd like to say hello and thank you to Rusty2982. You were the only notification that I got. There's been people come in, but you're the only one that I got notification as to who the person was. So, sir, I thank you. I do hope everyone is well, or at least doing better than me. Do take care of yourselves, and God bless.